0 to 1 by Blake Masters and Peter Thiel. Note 1. Getting the basics right. It's almost as if the letter E in the alphabetical nursery rhyme has changed from elephant to entrepreneurship in the last 20 years. The recent influx of startups has changed the way the average individual looks at business and commerce. Odds are, if you're reading this, you're thinking of starting a startup yourself. Or, if you're lucky enough, have already cracked your way into the system. Either way, this book gives you a fresh take on finding success in the world of business. Note 2. Significance of the name. Peter Thiel states that the transition of an idea into reality is the space where most startups fail to make it through. The urgency or importance of the problem your product solves in comparison to existing products in the market is also integral. This approach is of key significance to the title of the book, that is, creating nothing from something, and making it unique by predicting the future. Peter uncovers why monopolies are good for innovation. Note 3. Contrary to the widely held belief, monopolies are not evil. Quite surprisingly, Thiel promotes a single entity controlling the market forces by eliminating competitors. Look at it like survival of the fittest. If a product is inferior to the one in highest demand, why should it even exist? Monopoly actually ensures quality, standard, and innovation. This forces up-and-coming companies to push to create a better product than the one in demand, which will directly elevate the growth of the economy. Note 4. Great branding. The more you sell it, the more it sells. Recall Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You've given your new business everything. Your money, time, and energy, and probably tons of sleepless nights, but not enough force to sustain the initial burden. You may consider your startup as your baby, but unfortunately, this one does not grow arms and legs itself. Monopolies have strong brands that can't be replicated. Marketing is what differentiates your strategy from the competitors. Similarly, Thiel says your company needs an external push at almost all times. It's impossible for a company to achieve success if it does not have enough marketing up its sleeve to do the trick. Necessity is the god of innovation, hence it's important for the product to fall into the hands of the people who need it, not only from the supply point of view, but also for proper feedback to innovate further. Note 5. Progress is not always unidirectional. To evaluate the performance of anything, we check for the progress it has made over the course of its existence. Progress is the tool which defines the present as well as the future. In the book, Thiel breaks down progress into two tiers, namely horizontal and vertical. Horizontal progress means expanding and innovating through existing resources, whereas vertical progress means the creation of an idea, a method, or a technology. Note 6. Don't be the jack of all trades. Peter Thiel suggests to be a master in one field rather than to ace every skill. In order to succeed, one must be focused and determined with one's efforts. When you focus on mastering just one subject, you become the undisputed best in that thing. Thiel emphasizes striking while the iron is hot, because a startup's success comes under very specific conditions. There's only one best market for the product, one best time to launch, one best geographical area to reach out to. Thiel asks us to reverse the thinking process and focus on the future to find a single ideal answer to these questions. Note 7. Chase the secrets. Secrets are those undiscovered gems in the world of business that can take you from 0 to 1 quickly. It's often misunderstood that no progress after a point can be vertical. Well, Thiel suggests that innovation in technology is the only way a business can keep up with its competitors and refrain itself from being redundant. Technological advancements are the secrets to chase, as there sure exists some entity that requires your product differently than how it's being used conventionally. There are always new ideas for the taking, and finding these gems requires time. Note 8. Building a successful company takes time. Generally, no company sees overnight success. It takes years of waiting and anticipating future profits before the company even steps into the real game. Profit may not be seen until 8 to 10 years after the company's establishment, because the company must recover the initial capital costs of its investors. It can take a while, so you have to be the startup that sticks around the longest. While most give up, you don't. In fact, you don't have to be the best. You just have to define your market and stick around longer than competitors. One way Thiel describes achieving this is by starting in a narrow niche and being a monopoly in that, and only after that expanding more broadly. Note 9. Start small and expand to be the very best. How does one know when to stop? You don't. Perseverance is integral to the process of expansion, as most companies start small and then widen their horizons as they go. It's always better to be best at one thing than being average in several. Unhealthy competition creates a wrong notion that your product is inferior. It's advised not to compare without the intention of learning. Note 10. Be patient with your creation. Haste makes waste. If so much time, energy, and care has gone into nurturing your company, the least you can do is give it some time to grow. It's a different kind of joy to see your business grow into the mainstream world and your products being endorsed by the best in the field. Waiting for the right people, right moment, and time to accelerate the speed of growth makes the whole difference. In fact, if you enjoy the process, you don't mind the wait. It's about sticking around when others give up and being patient and confident in your decisions. Note 11. Steady and solid foundations. Every startup needs a solid base on which it stands tall and rules. Startups are small, so almost every person influences every decision. Hence, it's critical to get the foundation right. The main elements of a solid foundation are personnel, money, and culture. It's almost impossible to work under conditions where people in the top tier have constant conflicts of opinion and a different way of working altogether. The synergy of ideas, money, and opinions solidify the process of progress. A business is born when similar people come together, develop a company culture that thinks homogeneously to turn their visions and dreams into a reality. Note 12. You must leave personal interests outside. A business is not only run by the founders, but also the workforce that executes the vision of the owners. People at the highest level of the hierarchy cannot have vested interests for a long time. Profits of any company are seen and achieved once its variable costs are covered, which includes n number of expenses to keep work going the way it has been. If the owners start manipulating profits and earnings for personal gains and do not pump the resources or give back to the company, the possibility of expansion boils down to a bare minimum. Personal gains should be the last on the agenda list for a person who wants to start his own business in the long run. Note 13. Ask questions. There are 7 critical questions every entrepreneur must ask themselves. 1. Can I create a technological breakthrough? Technology, development, and innovation may not literally be synonymous to each other, but in hindsight, if there has been a series of developments in any field, it's due to the jump in technological advancements. 2. Is the time right? It's often said that one should never wait for the perfect time. They should take the time and make it perfect. Well, that's not true from a business perspective, because every business has a perfect window to excel optimally. The best case scenario suggests that one should launch a business only when the demand for it has been created beforehand, while some suggest that creating a demand lies in the hands of the producer. Either way, waiting for the right moment is crucial. 3. To be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? It's important for startup owners to decide whether they want to lay low in the conventional business setup and work in smaller scale markets, or try to hit a home run in a larger market with the risk of early elimination from the race. Thiel suggests the former in the initial stages as it gives the company an opportunity to monopolize the smaller market, record its shortcomings, and then make it big, similar to net practice before the actual game. 4. Are these the kind of people I want to work with? The 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. All factors are crucial, but the right kind of labor will help you achieve greater heights. This question gives birth to an analysis on the way you want to run your company, whether you require personnel who are more technologically equipped than manual labor, whether they're willing to train on the job, whether they're satisfied with cost-effective measures of payment. 5. How do I distribute for mass consumption? Having a great product and bad distribution is a path to bankruptcy. There is hardly any point of a product existing if it does not have the means to freely and conveniently reach the hands of its customers. Channels of distribution may include direct selling, selling through intermediaries, or reverse and dual channels of distribution. The nature of distribution is best known to the person who understands the requirements of reach to its customers. Investing in the right kind of distribution system can help save tons of money, or even better, your company from bankruptcy. 6. How do I think for the long run? Sustainability in the market position and having the center to hold still with competition around is something that all entrepreneurs need to learn. If the business is not open from a point of view of its sustaining heavy competitors, then it's just a waste of men, material, and effort. It's important to have an indefensible front if your competition comes up with a similar product that offers more at a lower price rate. To be able to be level-headed in your decision-making is what makes or breaks your company's foundation. 7. Any secrets to success? Truly successful companies spot opportunities not everyone can see. Apart from business ethics, an out-of-the-box perspective is essential for a company to stay fresh in the market. The secret is to chase the secrets that no one seems to be pursuing. Take the road not taken, make amends you've been wanting to, and roll the dice in a way that most people don't. Sometimes it's these changes that wipe off the redundancy of the system and helps you reach unconventional heights. Note 14. Conclusion. A typical founder must think outside of the box. A strong, successful company needs originality in its vision to perform at the highest level. A founder is like a North Star anchoring the company to pursue the path the founder paves. Every successful founder is somewhat unusual, and by really honing in on this uniqueness, founders can envision and dig the secrets that are to be explored. Finding these secrets is not any luck. It's through sheer relentlessness and challenging established conventions. Once you find your niche, you dominate it piece by piece to establish a monopoly that helps you thrive and give your startup the best chance of succeeding in the marketplace.